Shootouts are dumb. Welcome in the DNVR Avalanche post-game live from the Toyota Lounge. Unfortunately, a loser's lounge, but still powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships, and we're presented by Bet365. Avs lose in the shootout. They drop it 5-4 to the Dallas Stars in a game where we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between in this game. I think there's a lot to get to, but my ultimate takeaway for a loss, I don't know that I can feel much better about this game. Obviously, a win would have felt better, but the way the Avs played in this game, the scoreboard is what it is. The final score is the only thing that matters. I do not think it reflects how well the Avs played for the majority of this game.
I think you're right. I also feel a little bit conflicted at the moment. The rational sports writer in me agrees with you.
Yeah.
The Colorado sports fan in me
less so.
It feels like there's an inevitability in this matchup that despite the process being objectively correct for much of the game, despite being the better team for so much of 5-on-5,
you didn't win
because for whatever reason you've just got some weird juju going in this matchup.
I'm going to be a little salty about some things from Dallas, but before I do that, full credit to Jake Ottinger.
Dude,
Guy
so
played
good.
Great in this game. The Avs run away with this game in regulation, if not for Jake Ottinger. He got a little bit lucky at times too, but a lesser goalie in net for Dallas, and this game is easily 7-4, 8-4, something ridiculous, where the Avs just smoke these guys.
He can't keep getting away with this, can he?
Apparently he can.
He's always in just perfect position.
Yep.
It's not the flashiest. Like, I feel like you've seen cooler looking goalies with their approach, or like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like he had a little bit on that glove save, a little Patrick Waugh to him, but it's not really that most of the time, you know? It's just really fundamentally sound,
stuff, yep.
Good positioning. And if you don't put a perfect puck on net, it's not going to find the back. And I mean, that guy has been their franchise MVP for three straight years now.
Been dragging that team to conference finals, basically. So
he's the bane of Colorado's existence.
He really is. So credit to him. Everyone else on Dallas, I'm salty about you, but Ottinger deserves some praise.
It just kind of reminds me, as somebody who's worked in football for the last 12 years, of sometimes the other team just has a better quarterback, and it doesn't really matter that you were the better team between the hashes for the majority of 60 minutes because that guy's really good, and he made 3 incredible plays, and that's the difference in the game and in a tight matchup like this.
It really comes down to it. Do you want to just get into the goalie conversation first?
Yeah, let's just do it.
I think I'm going to come across as a little bit negative here. And I want to be very clear that this game, losing this game, is no world Scott Wedgewood's fault. It's hard to ask much of him on any of the 4 goals in regulation, I think. But ultimately, the statistics don't look great for him. He gives up 4 goals on 22 shots. And I can live with that. Asking him to out-duel Jake Ottinger is not Scott Wedgewood's job. He's a backup. He's not, even if you are a believer in him being a starter, he's not a guy in Jake Ottinger's tier of hockey. But the numbers look not great, and I can forgive that. I do think you expected more out of him in the shootout. And I get, even that's a hard ask. Look, the guys who scored on him are Jason Robertson and Mikko Rantanen. Those are 2 super high-end players.
Optically, the Mikko goal was rough.
I think Robertson won too, but that was more of a missile than Mikko's, I agree. Where you go into the shootout, and it's not like they put some nasty move on you. It's not like they beat you with some crazy unforeseen thing. They both just rocket a puck past you as a goaltender on a clean shot. And in the NHL, the reality is you're supposed to save a lot of those. And you look back, it's almost like he gave up 3 of 4 with Dallas's 4th goal being a clean breakaway. Again, not his fault. Devon Toews cannot make that play. But that one extra save, it's where it feels like maybe the Avs missed Mackenzie Blackwood a little bit in this game.
There's levels to this, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think you put it perfectly. There's probably not a whole lot more I can say in terms of an analysis standpoint, but it just feels like that's why he's a 2. He's a really solid backup goalie, and occasionally he's going to play out of this world and have these moments where he looks sharp. And then there's going to be moments where he, reverts to the mean. And then that was kind of tonight. He wasn't bad. This loss isn't on him. No. There was also a couple of instances where you would have really benefited from him making an exceptional save, like really stepping up in a way he probably did a couple times in those first 2 games. And in his defense, he looked like a backup goalie going up against an elite goalie tonight.
We said it in pregame, right? The Avs are going to have to outscore some problems eventually, and they almost did tonight, but just one short.
Still got a point, though.
They did get nothing, and it's early season. I care less about the 1 point in the moment at this point in the year, but when you get down to the end of the season, that 1 point could matter. It could make a difference in the standings when you come down to it. So,
especially in a division this tight.
Yep, exactly. So it is meaningful, and full credit to the Avs. I really don't have a lot of negatives to say that aren't very specific plays. As a team, showed a ton of heart, worked their butts off the entire game, played great Avalanche hockey systemically, and even when it felt like at times tonight they weren't getting rewarded for it, they find a way to get that next goal. They find a way to get this game into overtime, and at very least scrap that point out of it.
I think their process was correct tonight. You like the effort. I think offensively they had a ton of high quality scoring chances that didn't go their way.
Yep.
You like the fight and the mentality. They didn't hang their heads after going down. They kept fighting back multiple times down a goal, found a way to come back and tie it up. But I just keep coming back to how dejecting it feels that despite playing really well against this team, you just keep finding ways to lose. I mean, how many times in a 2-year span can we say they were the better team 5-on-5 for 60 minutes, and yet here we are in the losers column?
It feels bad to lose. And I actually feel like this is somewhat of a okay thing. Maybe not a good thing, but an okay thing to take away. In the playoffs, you lose. That's it. You're done. In a regular season game like this, you can take a look at what you did. You can say, hey, if we play this game 10 times in a row against Dallas, we're going to win 9 of them. Mm-hmm. We're going to do it. Dallas isn't going to get away with pucks going through Ottinger and then hitting off the post. They're not going to get away with nonsense bounces where the puck bounces 13 times and Ottinger just finds a way to get a pad on a puck he doesn't even see. As good as Jake Ottinger is, the dam will break eventually with those type of plays. And just to back this up, since I have some numbers at just how dominant this game was at 5-on-5, through all of regulation at 5-on-5, Avs out Corsi Dallas 63-30. They only gave up 30 shot attempts against at 5-on-5. You move on to actual scoring chances, 31-17. They almost doubled them up on scoring chances in this game. And then high dangers, 13-8. Significantly more on that front, too. The process of the Colorado Avalanche, expected goals at 5v5, Colorado 2.72, Dallas 1.69. They didn't just outplay Dallas in the statistics. They dominated Dallas for the majority of this hockey game. It really would not have been close if not for stellar goaltender play and then a couple of boneheaded plays from the Avalanche.
Do we want to play that clip with Nathan MacKinnon? Because this is essentially him talking about exactly that.
Let's play that, and then we can talk about the power play, too.
Just weird bounces. Just one of those games. 82 games.
Jared talks a lot about process over results. Kale just saying a lot of positives to take out of this one. Is that kind of what you were just saying?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it just sucks when you lose, but we had a lot of good looks in the third and OT as well. So hats off to Ottinger. They hung around. They did what they had to do to win. But I thought we did a good job. Especially, it wasn't a great game last game. I guess it's the hockey gods maybe. We didn't maybe deserve last game. I thought we deserved this game.
Seems like you and Marty are really, buzzing. Maybe even a little bit more than you guys were at the tail end of last year. Just what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's 3 games, right? So it's 79 more games, but yeah, it's LA was okay. Last game was brutal. Tonight was good. So I mean, I don't know. It's been pretty good though. He's looking awesome. Looks strong. Seeing the ice well, shooting it well. So yeah, he's a dynamic player and great guy to play with. And obviously, lucky. I mean, he complements both of us really well. So yeah, it's been good so far.
Powerplay got back on the board today too. Just how are you feeling about how that's being deployed so far?
What do you mean?
Just how do you feel like it's looking so far?
Oh, I thought it was really good tonight. Really good tonight. A lot of great chances. I know we were getting booed. I guess they don't really know what a good power play looks like. We had a ton of chances and just nothing was going in, and we finally got one. So I guess they got to boo us more.
Thanks much, Nate.
Yeah, that last part I fully actually agree with MacKinnon. I guess they were booing in the arena. I couldn't hear it here, so I won't talk on that. But 3 or 4 power plays that looked really, really good tonight for Colorado. The early ones just didn't score. Again, Jake Ottinger plays out of his mind. You get a bunch of quality chances, and they're just not going in the net. And then their power play breaks through when they needed it to. You get a fortunate double minor gift in the third period, sure, and they score on it. They get themselves back into the game for the 3rd straight time to make it 4-4. When you look at process again, that power play is really good. It had great movement from Nathan MacKinnon, which is the thing I keep harping on because last year it was so stagnant because MacKinnon had cement in his boots. This year he's moving all over the power play, behind the net, off to the other side. You switch back. They even made a couple of different looks. Olofsson got some time with them. The first unit that looked good. All around their power play looked great. Everything in this game kind of boils down to, not everything, but a lot of this game boils down to, yeah, you just didn't get one more goal. You needed one more goal. And I know that sounds like the playoffs last year. It's not at all.
Same result, but different the way the game played out.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I'd feel better if they won, but if you were going to lose to Dallas, this is about as good as it can look.
If they play the way they played on the power play tonight in most games, you're probably putting 7 on the board.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably scoring a touchdown.
This wouldn't be a conversation if they would have won that series if their power play looked like it did tonight.
And I do love that they got the clutch goal, as you're alluding to, Nathan MacKinnon. Yes, double minor, it's fortunate. And you got it on the second.
Yep, but you still got it.
But you got it, which was something you couldn't say pretty consistently last year.
Yep. They had that exact same situation late in game 3, was it, that they got the double minor, and they didn't score on it. So,
and then I think twice in Dallas, they took a power play into OT and didn't score.
Yeah, and I know people might disagree with me, but I care a lot less about a loss in a shootout.
It's not hockey.
You didn't lose the hockey game to Dallas Stars. You lost a shootout to the Dallas Stars. It's like, okay, cool.
I get why you're trying to limit the minutes on the legs and all that. In the regular season, it's fine. We don't need to do a 10-minute tangent on why shootouts are objectively a dumb, illogical way
die
to
on this hill next week, not today.
decide a hockey game. But yeah, I mean, the Avs aren't good at shootouts. I will say that. That's a pretty consistent takeaway from the last couple of years.
As of late, yeah.
Mac, as incredible as he is at actually playing the real sport of hockey, kind of like Shaquille O'Neal back in the day, he'll dominate you at basketball. He's not a good free throw shooter.
It's true.
Bedsy, maybe not the best shootout lineup decision maker. I mean, there's probably so much that goes into that. It's easy for me to, from the bleachers here, but
right from the hindsight is 2020. The Olofsson pick doesn't look great right now, right? I assume they saw something in preseason or they had a reason to put him out first.
He didn't show it in that shootout.
There wasn't a whole lot of a move there. Ottinger didn't bite at all, and it didn't even look.
Although,
dangerous.
I mean, to be fair to both Stars goals, they didn't do anything. They just
they
ripped
went in.
it. So maybe less is more sometimes, you know?
I guess.
Nate tried to do a whole bunch there, and that didn't look much
Nathan
better.
MacKinnon special for sure on the shootout there. And Ottinger just stood there and was like,
okay. You know what it looks like? And with all of the respect for Nathan MacKinnon in the world, top 5 NHL player, I've got 2 Nathan MacKinnon jerseys in my closet at home. Love the guy, just being fair. That looks like playing in the cul-de-sac with your younger nephew, and you're in net.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I got some shit for you. You ain't going to see this coming. And you just, okay, swat.
Yeah. Just let him do his thing and be like, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, if this was any other team than Dallas and the result was the same, I think the Avs fan base would mostly be sitting here going, wow, that team got really lucky. All right, moving on. But because it's Dallas, it sticks in a little bit more. It feels like a twist of the knife a little bit more.
And that's where I just come back to the dynamics of the matchup and kind of the chokehold that it has, not only on the Avs, but I think this is a matchup that Nathan MacKinnon takes personally. He said
so,
all
sure.
of the right things post-game. His face and his body language did not necessarily line up with what he was saying. Yeah, the process was correct, but we lost, and losing sucks.
Yeah, it does. And that's true. Like, I get to be an analyst here and talk about how, like, well, I really don't feel that bad about it because of this, that, the other thing. You still have to sit there and take the L. And again, I'm not going to overthink it because it's game 3 of the season. The Avs actually played really well. I don't think we need to rehash every moment of Avs versus Dallas of all time because they lost a regular season game in a shootout to Dallas. I don't think that's necessary. But it's what you do with it, right? The Avs are not going to be happy that they lost. And if they go out on Monday morning and drop 7 on Buffalo, there's probably a connection there.
That's a good point. Chance to get right. I like that.
Yep.
Let's take a quick break. Let's shout out a couple of our awesome partners. We'll keep this conversation rolling. I want to talk to you guys about an awesome product that our friends over at Ent Credit Union are offering to help us Broncos fans. That game starts in 5 minutes. Offering to help us make the best of this season. For those of you who don't know them, Ent is the largest credit union in Colorado, proudly serving communities all over the state, and they're also the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos. Their Denver Broncos checking account is loaded with all kinds of perks. Every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking debit card enters you for the chance to win home game tickets, get a chance to see big game Bo Nix in person. He's looked good these last couple of weeks. The Broncos trending in the right direction. Broncos debit card also, the limited Bo edition one, is available now. And it gets you 10% off food and gear on game days at Empower Field with no surprise fees. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. All right. For much of the fall, this ad has maybe been a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I am excited about college football again. My Rams won a game last night, finally. I'm feeling good. If you want to come to homecoming next week, there's great tickets available with our friends at Game Time. It's a great way to get tickets to everything, though. Buffs, Broncos, Avs, Nuggets, you name it. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I love how intuitive the app is. It's very user-friendly. All the local sports, whatever's going on right in front of you, easy to use. What you see is what you pay. You're not going to get hit with a million surprise fees at the end. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use that code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create an account. Redeem that code DNVR for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I believe we have Bailey Curtis calling in from the arena live. Bailey, thank you for joining us. We saw the MacKinnon interview. I'm curious, how much of the locker room vibe was, we probably deserved to win and we didn't, and how much of it was frustration with not coming away the win?
I think Cale Makar said it best during his availability. It's not frustrating because they know how this team plays and they know what should be expected heading into a game like this. So I think there's not so much frustration, just a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it agitation either, just some disappointment that they couldn't get this done. Bednar was really, really thrilled with how they played tonight, especially compared to game 2, and saying everything that they talked about after game 2, they fixed in game 3. Just they're playing a dangerous team, and that's really all there is to it.
I'm curious, Bailey, the process 5-on-5 objectively, the Avs were the better team. You hear MacKinnon's comments on that. But for whatever reason, this boogeyman of a matchup still plays out the other way. Does that loom moving forward? Is that something that starts to become a thing you start thinking about every single time we play this team? Or am I putting too much stock into one matchup and it's hockey, weird stuff happens?
At this point, you look at it like a rivalry, and it becomes one of those situations where I think these teams head into the matchup and they hate playing each other. And this is a situation where Dallas, I think, is going to stick in Colorado's head a little bit, where they go into it. They know how to play. That is the biggest thing to take away from this game is they know how to play. You saw it for multiple minutes during this game. And that, I think, does kind of come to haunt Colorado a little bit. Is this the team that kind of defines us? Is this the measuring stick now? Is this the hump we need to get over in order to be a contending team moving forward?
It might be, but that's a team they got to get past in the playoffs, not necessarily the regular season. Enough negative talk. Bailey, who stood out to you at the top of this game for the Avs? Who really got at least 1 point out of this for them?
I don't think I can give it to any one guy. I do want to shout out the top line. I think especially they have not been able to get going the way that they needed to the last 2 games. I think they looked phenomenal tonight. Both Martin Necas and Nathan MacKinnon were able to showcase exactly what they're capable of. Nathan MacKinnon scoring from his position in the left faceoff dot. Martin Necas showing off just exactly how sharp of a shot he can get off. I think that line alone was incredible. I do also want to tip my hat to Ilya Solovyov. I think he had a few very good moments in today's game, kind of stepped up to the plate. Big body when he needed to be. Those are my standouts.
Love it. A question that we'll get to later in the show too, but I'm curious your thoughts on the second line. It's 3 straight games now where they really haven't been able to produce despite producing very good possession numbers.
I think Brock Nelson looked okay tonight. I think that is the biggest standout for me from that line. Otherwise, there's a lot more that they need to get going from both Nichushkin and Landeskog. And I wonder how much that would benefit from potentially moving Nichushkin off that line. I wonder if there's something that could be said from moving Lehkonen down. Then you risk some of that chemistry going on. I think Lehkonen's playing great on that top line. So there is a little bit of risky run there. Something needs to happen. Yes, possession numbers look great, but possession numbers don't win you hockey games.
It's true. You got to put pucks in the net to score and win. We haven't listened to the Bednar presser yet. You sounded like he was pretty positive about this one. As the Avs move on from this game, do we expect to see any changes now that there's a loss on the board, or are we just rolling with what they have?
I think Bednar's confident with what this team has been able to do in tonight's game. This game, I think, showcased for him that they know how to improve after bad games, and they know exactly what is expected of them. So I think moving into the 2-game road trip ahead of them, there's not much change to go on here. The biggest thing to worry about, again, is getting that second line going.
That's all I've got.
Cool. Bailey, thank you for calling in. We do appreciate it. Go check out all the pressers, which should be going up on Twitter right now, or, watch the rest of our show and then watch them after. You can do that too. Any final thoughts on this one, Bailey?
I'd like to see them continue this momentum, maybe not from a loss, but taking what they have learned and were able to showcase today into the upcoming road trip. That's all I'd like to see personally.
I would also like to see that. A win is the best medicine for a loss.
Winning is more fun than losing.
True. Facts.
Crazy.
Funny how that works.
Bailey, thank you again. We will see you on our next show, which I guess will be Monday. So
You boys have a great night.
You too. Bailey Curtis, make sure you go follow her on Twitter, Bailey with 2 Ys. Yeah, that's...
What do you think about what she had to say about potentially moving Nichushkin off the second line? Would you flip him and Lecky at that point?
I mean, that's just the easy thing to do there. Certainly after tonight, I don't think you're breaking up MacKinnon and Necas. I'll put it to you that way.
They look so natural together.
It looked really,
Like,
really good between those two.
I know my role on this beat. I'm the new guy on the scene, and we're learning. You guys got to give me a little bit of grace. I'm covering a lot of sports here at one time, but
Pretty much all of them.
I will say, yeah, no shit. I will say that was like my most confident preseason take coming in was that Necas had only scratched the surface,
Yep.
and that if they could unleash those two together, it could be unreal. But they've got to figure that second line out. I mean, what about putting Landy on the first line? I mean, is it too soon?
I don't think you can yet. I don't even know that you can break up the first line, to be honest with you. When you look at what
It's
they did
moving
tonight,
that well.
all three of them are scoring. Like you
That's a
both,
good point.
MacKinnon and Necas, put
It ain't broke.
great plays into the back of the net tonight. And Arturi Lehkonen has multiple goals already this year. Like I know Lecky at times is the weak link offensively on that line, but it's not been a problem. Your first line is just too good to break it up. I think you just need more out of your second line. Those are good players. These are experienced veteran guys. All of them have had 60 points. Maybe not Val, but Val's been on that pace. Landy and Nelson have both had 60-point seasons. We need to see it. Puck needs to go in the net for that line.
How much do you put on Brock Nelson? Because he feels like he's been real quiet.
A lot. I know Bailey said he looked okay, and I think there are instances where he looked okay tonight, but he needs to score. He is built to be the shooter on that line. You have two big bodies. Landy's supposed to play in front of the net and be a decent facilitator. Nuke is kind of your power forward on that line. And I know Brock Nelson's in the middle, so you need him to facilitate too a little bit. But that guy was brought in to be a goal scorer for the Colorado Avalanche. And some nights pucks doesn't go in. Jake Andre played great tonight, like I said. But there weren't enough shot attempts from him
Being
tonight.
a little too passive.
He needs to put that onus on his own stick and let the puck fly a little bit more on that line, because that's the way that line is designed. And when he fires the puck, Landy and Achushkin go to work. They go earn rebounds. They go dig pucks out. That's how it's supposed to work offensively for that line. Now, again, I don't want to be that harsh on them because they're super duper solid defensively. They lock teams down. They do a great job managing the puck. But if you're playing in the top six in the NHL, you need to score. And that line has 1 point total between them in the first three games. And it came off of a Brock Nelson face-off win on the power play.
It could be neither, but do you think it's more of a mentality struggle, a lack of chemistry, cohesion? I mean, it's not like those guys have played a ton of minutes together over the years.
I don't even know that it's any of those. We're not that deep into this hole yet. It's 3 games. Give them another 5. If we get to game 8 and it still looks like this, it still feels like they're struggling to generate the high danger offense, then we need to have a conversation about it. But right now it's fair to say, hey, you need some production out of that line. You got 3 goals out of your top line tonight. Awesome. They're not going to score 3 for you every night.
Fair enough.
On that front, it is what it is. I will say, I know I gave a ton of credit and was agreeing with MacKinnon on the power play. The top unit was really good. The second power play unit, bad. That one is bad enough where you have to take a look at doing something with it. Mostly, they need an entry guy.
Yeah.
They had Landy kind of trying to do it with Olofsson at times during this game, and it just it didn't look functional.
Well, especially when you go from MacKinnon, McCartney just going in versus to that.
The best 3 entry dudes in the league
Yeah.
to just guys. Fair. That's a tough criticism to take, but especially in that double minor in the third period, the second unit basically didn't even get set up in the zone a single time. It needs to be better than that if you want to actually use it.
I don't want to be a downer considering all of the excitement for his 1500th game, which is just an insane amount of games to have played. But
Yep.
Burns has got to be better too. He had a rough night.
Yeah. He did end up picking up the secondary assist on the game-tying goal in the third, so maybe gets a little bit of it back. But the defense was rough from Brent Burns tonight. On ice for 3 of the 4 goals Dallas scored. The first one is directly his fault and is frankly just not a play that you can be okay with.
Second was kind of on him too.
Kind of. Solovyov gets a little bit lost too, but he just loses the net front battle 100%. You want Burns to use his gigantic body there and prevent that goal from going in. But the first one for me is just, that can't happen. Not the first part of it. The first part of it, he makes a read, goes up the wall, tries to use his reach, doesn't make a play. All right, fine. Bad decision, misexecuted. I can live with that. It's the back half of that play where he coasts back into the zone. He does not move his feet at all and just lets Mikko Rantanen skate right by him to a rebound that comes out.
One of the best offensive players in the league.
You just can't do that. I don't care if it's Mikko or Colin Blackwood or whoever is getting. Brent Burns has to get to that puck and has to put himself in a position to be competitive. As Mikko gets to that puck, he just kind of flicks his stick, tries to do a stick lift that doesn't connect, and Mikko ends up setting up Thomas Harley off the backside of that because Burns completely falls asleep and takes himself out of the play. A rookie does that? Okay, welcome to the NHL, kid. Brent Burns' 1,500th game. You know better.
Is there any concern? And I don't want to go. Every question, is this bad? Is this bad? They played well, but just given the fact that you're not going to have Sam Girard for a while, that you have to lean on him a little bit more than you probably would want to.
I mean, I think the Avs are comfortable leaning on him anyway. Yeah. And one bad play, two bad plays does not a career make. Brent Burns will be just fine. But that's the one thing that I feel shades of the past with this Avalanche team. Last year, the Avs, not even in the Dallas series, just all of last year, the Avs had a lot of trouble with giving up the big mistake play. And Brent Burns had some big mistakes in this one. To be fair, so did Devon Toews, who's arguably the Avs' best defensive defenseman. And the fourth goal is in the back of your net because Devon Toews just completely rockets a puck from the blue line into the first defender and gives up a clean breakaway. The type of mistakes that I don't care how good you play, those are the stuff that cost you, obviously, and you
especially
have to
against Dallas. There's nobody better at. You were the better team for 58 of 60 minutes, but you had this bad 15-second stretch, this bad bounce here, and this, and they scored on all three.
And again, you win as a team, you lose as a team. There are other things going on. In the second goal going in, Solovyov got a little bit lost. Maybe a little bit more acceptable for a guy with 16 NHL games and playing his first game in Colorado than it is Brent Burns, who has 1,500.
That math does add up. 16 is less than 1,500. I can confirm.
By a little bit. It's close.
We didn't go to Harvard, but
no, not even the Harvard of Colorado. I didn't even go there. But these mistakes happen across the course of a year. The reason I'm not so upset about them in this moment is because, again, it's one game.
And it is hot, like weird stuff in this sport more than any.
Weird stuff happens. If you make a bunch of these mistakes, if they go out against Buffalo on Monday, they make a bunch of these mistakes again, then you start saying, okay, time to clean things up. You can't keep doing these same issues. But your defense didn't play the best game of all time tonight, and they got punished for it. It's also whole team event, right? You can help out a little bit. Maybe a better back check from a center helps out Brent Burns on the second goal. Maybe a better play with the puck in the offensive zone doesn't leave Devon Toews in a tight situation where he needs to fire a puck past that first defender. And maybe you get one more save out of Scott Wedgewood. You pick your poison on ways the Avs could have made a better play and won this game. And again, they didn't lose it in regulation. So I know I've been overly negative, and I do believe these are issues with the Avs as a team. But at the end of the day, they played really good on the whole, and we're nitpicking the 4 mistakes they made on a night where they made 25 great plays, and 4 of them went in the net, and their other goalie just saved the day.
Never felt more at home than having to talk about being process-oriented to emotionally be able to get through a frustrating lot. This is my bag for sure. Let's take a quick break. Let's shout out our other partners. Keep the comments rolling. Shout out to everybody in the Toyota chat. You know the moment, that one you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the plane or at the hotel, or maybe you've got dogs like I do who chew on things, or maybe you just have little kids that love to throw stuff against the wall. Who knows? you can rock your Shady Rays and do so comfortably, knowing that when chaos inevitably happens, they're going to have your back. Every single pair is backed by lost and broken replacements. What's awesome about Shady Rays is these are stylish, comfortable, really high quality sunglasses with polarized lens, but they're affordable. You don't have to break the bank to look good. And again, you can rock them knowing they've always got your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use that code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. I also would like to shout out our great friends over at Window Nation. October is here. So is the return of chilly air seeping into your home. That is, if you have old, stuck, or cracked windows. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with top quality replacement windows from Window Nation. Window Nation has some of the best replacement windows out there. Their installation crews finish the job in 1 day or less. You can get back to your daily routines with minimal interruption. They offer a lifetime warranty on all their windows, so you can relax knowing your home is protected so far into the future. There's no limit on how many windows you'll replace, and your total price includes 1 day installation. Make no payments for 2 years, no monthly payments, no down payment, no interest until 2027. That's a big deal with the holidays coming up. We trust Window Nation because they've got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, 96% customer satisfaction rating, over 45,000 5-star reviews. Get started on your free estimate before October 31st to save big on your replacement window. Schedule a fast free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation, windownation.com.
Let's go. I want to look into the window of, I guess, the third and fourth lines here. Someone mentioned in the Toyota chat there, Anteaters. Gavin Brindley gets his first goal of his NHL career. Congratulations to him. Great job of him to drive the net and bang one home there. But more where I want to jump off from that is Victor Olofsson. And I know he didn't score in the shootout opportunity, but you look at the rest of this game, unbelievable play to set up Gavin Brindley's goal.
Just a phenomenal pass. I mean,
battles through a guy, recovers a puck. Yeah, finds a way to get that puck to the net front to Brindley. And then I also really liked his game in overtime. They put him out there, and my initial reaction was like, I don't know about this. And then he made a great defensive play, helped win a puck battle in the corner of the Avs zone, and the Avs are going the right direction.
He's trying to keep that spot.
I think he's got it. Like AJ talked about this, and in preseason in the early games, everyone's looking to try and make a story of how what's going to change. What are the Avs going to do? How can they? And Olofsson kind of found himself in that spot of the guy that it was just like, this would be an easy guy to move out of the lineup, right? And he has completely shut that down over the last 2 games. That has gone from a guy where it's like, well, maybe if Brindley plays well, you can try to find Bardakov a spot, and maybe it's Olofsson that's on the out. No, not anymore. Olofsson is now locked in.
He was, really embracing the mentality of what the bottom 6 and especially the fourth line have been for the Avalanche this last, 2 years or so. Just doing the gritty work. Like, that is how you stay on the ice, doing the little things. Yep. You're not out here to be Nathan MacKinnon. Right. You're out here
you have to do the details.
Grind it out.
Yep.
Make that play. Give your guy a shot. And, credit Brindley. It wasn't the prettiest first goal in the world from him in terms of what he had to do, but still found the back of the net.
Went to the right spot, put it where it needed to go. And
shoot puck, score puck.
There are a bunch of players on the Avs wishing they could have beat Brock or beat Jake Ottinger tonight.
No shit, man.
Not limited to just second line or whoever. Cale Makar, just Jake Ottinger seemed to have Cale Makar's number. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And Cale Makar looked really good for large portions of tonight, all the way up until he's got to beat Jake Ottinger with a puck. Shots weren't even bad. Cale Makar it's Cale Makar's boogeyman. I don't know what to tell you.
There's a weird feeling of inevitability with this series, and I think that's where all of the emotion factors in with the folks who are more along the lines of the sky is falling, here we go again.
Yeah, I don't feel any of that.
I don't either.
I know we like to be hyperbolic after a loss, and you want to live in the moment, and there's definitely some salt in my veins.
You're not going to get on first take with that mentality.
That's true. If I'm ever on first take, put me down, Chad. It's over. I've lost the plot at that point.
I would pay a lot of money for a 60-minute stream of you having to explain hockey to Stephen A. Smith.
That might be the worst content they've ever made. So we'll see.
That's highly debatable because you could just put that channel on any day of the week and watch 5 minutes of Kendrick Perkins. Get back to me.
But again, feel how you want to feel. I'm not trying to tell you how to fan. Being frustrated with Dallas and losing to Dallas again is justified and perfectly reasonable with the outcome of this game.
It stings more. Like rivalry games, like we talked about before the matchup, from the fans' perspective, are supposed to feel bigger.
They are.
And this matchup felt like a playoff game.
It did.
You know, it stings more, I feel like, in some ways when you play really well and you come up short. It's easier to just write off a performance of, yeah, we played like crap tonight. We just didn't have it. Throw it away. It is what it is. When you play well and you still come up short, it's extra salt in the wounds, especially when it's that one team.
And I would feel worse about it if the Avs came out and said, oh, well, we gave Dallas our best shot and Dallas was just better. But I cannot get over the hump of this was not Dallas's best game. This is not like Dallas went out and earned every single break they earned tonight. You even heard Nathan MacKinnon say, you know what? I felt like we probably deserved to win this one. And I agree with him. It's just, I don't get the feeling of, oh, well, even when the Avs are at their best, they can't beat Dallas. No, Dallas found a couple of horseshoes tonight that,
and that's not a
that
real
got
thing.
them out
like,
of a game.
It's a classic sports segment. We can get a good 15 minutes out of that.
For sure.
Go down memory lane and throw out every stat that's ever been, but there's nothing tangible to that. You know, you can't beat a team until you beat them, and then it changes.
And the Avs process was just too good tonight on the whole for me to be upset with. I should say it this way. We've talked about the Avs process a lot. The Avs are interrupted, caused problems for Dallas's process. The vast majority of the night, Dallas struggled to play hockey the way they wanted to.
The Avs definitely dictated the tempo in a way that was almost never the case in that postseason.
Yep. Full stop. Dallas was not playing in the style of hockey that they wanted to in this game. And then they capitalized on their chances. They deserve
Which
credit.
is what they do.
They finished. Cool. Good job. That got the game to a shootout situation where you finished. You deserve the win. I've never been a big guy on deserve to win-o-meter stuff or anything like that. The team who deserved to win won the game. That the score
very
on the
rarely
scoreboard.
Can you, with any type of actual honesty,
right? Barring some like crazy like the
an
ref
official
missed
just
a
made
call.
the bad call.
Yeah, exactly. The team who won deserved to win, but when you play a process as good as the Avs have, you feel comfortable running it back, that you'll get the win next time.
One of the best things about hockey, right? It's not a single elimination sport. You play as well as you played tonight in a 7-game series. I like Colorado's chances of winning 4 times.
Me too.
It still might go 7 because Dallas is
Dallas,
and they're going to muck it up, and they're going to get timely goals, and Ottinger's going to be Ottinger, and it's what they do until he plays anybody other than the Avalanche. But I feel pretty good about this team they showed they match up very well with this team despite the result.
I think there are a couple of other important things, especially if you're looking for positives against specifically Dallas. Perfect on the penalty kill. They kill all 3 power penalties they give up. And they win the special teams battle, not just that they had a power play goal and Dallas didn't. They drew more penalties than Dallas did. The Avs put themselves in a good driver's seat when it comes to special teams in this game to be successful, and the comparisons to the playoff series are inevitable. I really want to stop doing them, and I'm going to stop doing them as soon as we end this post game. But so much of those issues with the special teams have been the conversation around the Colorado Avalanche coming into this season. And I would say mission accomplished tonight on that front. I know 1 for 5 isn't awesome, but you did score 1. And again, the process looked really good. And I don't care if you're 1 for 100, if the other team goes 0 for 100 against you. Just don't lose the special teams battle, and the Avs won it tonight.
Process was solid.
Yep.
I I keep coming back to if you play this game enough times, you're gonna win far more times than you lose.
Yeah, I just can't feel bad about it because of that. There is some stuff you have to clean up. Someone in the Toyota chat was talking about it too. With Girard out, the left side is a little bit of a mystery right now. Obviously, Slovyov, is playing that side right now for you. But you kind of had this weird situation where the Avs were like, oh, well, maybe we're going to play Malinsky on the right side and we'll try Burns and Manson together. And then by halfway through the game, the defensive pairings were getting shuffled, as is to be expected. But it was hard to even gauge who was playing on the left side at a certain point in that game. And I don't think that necessarily led to some of the issues that the Avs had defensively in this game, but it's something that the Avs are going to have to sort out over the next few days here with Girard being week to week.
What's the biggest thing you take away from this game?
Honestly, the biggest thing I take away from this game is Marty Necas is really good. And we already knew that. No one's surprised that Marty Necas is a top-tier player in this league, but you watch what he does for the Avs in this game and helps a top line that, yes, you had Mikko Rantanen on it before. Yes, you've had high-end talent, but Necas brings a similar element to Mikko. He's not the same style of player. Obviously, Mikko is a huge human and can play some of that power forward games at times, but you see the passing to find Nathan MacKinnon. You see the opposite side of it, the shooting to finish that first play off of a ridiculously good seam pass from MacKinnon. Necas is just entering the prime of his career, and you're watching a guy that I think the expectation, and I know 3 games is super small sample size, yada, yada, yada. This guy could be a 90 to 100 point player without even blinking this year.
Dang it. Well, this isn't a hot take anymore, but that was going to be my hot take. 100-point season coming for Marty.
I'm down. If he plays like this, absolutely. That top line just outclassed Dallas in every aspect of the game. That top line said, who you got, Dallas? Who are you going to throw against us? And the answer was, well, we're going to take advantage of your mistakes, Avs, and fair enough. But on a talent spectrum, J-Rob's awesome. He's not that guy.
Is that top line good enough to where it's not crazy to say it's at least in the conversation? I know what Edmonton's got going on, but it's got to be in the conversation at least, right? For the best top line in hockey.
Yeah, I mean, you get into okay, well, do you consider McDavid and Draisaitl playing together, or do you separate them, right? Like, depending on how you want to cook that egg in Edmonton. It might be. I think it's a little, on a pure skill basis, it probably isn't, because I think Lehkonen drags that skill level down. But then you get in the conversation of, yeah, but Lehkonen's the perfect fit because he's the do all the dirty work guy on that line, and he goes and grinds it out and turns pucks over and helps get the Avs set up in the offensive zone so MacKinnon and Necas can do those silly things that they do. And then I think the other side of it is, in reality, it's impossible to extricate that, because how many of those minutes with the top line are also played with Cale Makar?
Pretty nice little factor you got in the back pocket there.
It helps.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's, not to go to the other sports all the time, but people it's hard to compare Patrick Mahomes to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
they're just
the
different.
way they go about what they do.
But you would take different. Either of them in a heartbeat.
Of course. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And I do think it's starting to come together piece by piece. You didn't really have great games out of your top line in the first 2 games, despite Nate just scoring 2 goals in the first one. You got that great game out of your top line. Through the first 2 games, I felt the Avs were pretty darn good defensively in their own zone, and obviously they weren't on a couple of plays in this game where you need better. So maybe that's a step back in that regard. But as a whole, the first 10, 15 games of the season is really about locking it down. And the Avs played hockey the way they want to play hockey tonight. And if that's not good enough, then it's not good enough. But it's going to be good enough.
You established your identity against them in a way that really has not been the case in a lot of matchups. Not like we have a small sample size at this point.
Right. And if it comes down to it and the Avs can beat every other team in the league than Dallas with this system because for whatever reason Dallas just has their number, go win the division and avoid Dallas.
Be nice. Give us 1 year.
Yep. Genuinely, if the Avs avoid Dallas for a year.
Is there
They
anyone
can
in the
win it
West?
all.
Look, we're in October. We're not even to Halloween yet.
Yeah. Obviously getting way ahead of myself, of course.
Yes.
But,
Don't, clip this 6 months from now. Oh, you morons.
yeah, right.
But based on what you've seen to this point, is there anybody else that you really, Vegas, obviously, Edmonton's still highly talented.
Yeah, they're going to be in the mix, of course. But from that standpoint, and I have watched a lot of hockey over the last 4 days to start this season, I don't think I've seen a team play better mechanically than I did the Avs play in this game. Teams have blown teams out, and part of that is the level of your competition. Dallas is a good team, and the Avs still took it to them in a lot of ways. It's impressive to me. I'm not surprised that the Avs lost this game. I knew this was more or less a coin flip game. But if the Avs lost, I was expecting to come out of this game being really frustrated and watching a Dallas team that continued to grind out a Colorado Avalanche team that it didn't feel like they had the sauce. I'm coming out of this loss feeling like the Avs have the sauce and Dallas is not going to get away with it this year. And I'm sure the next time they play, Dallas will play a much better game and will be in a different room. But for a game that I expected to be mad about, I'm not.
Kind of seems like you and Bedsy are on the same page.
Maybe. Should we hear from him?
Let's hear from him.
Hey guys, go ahead.
Coach, is that maybe kind of the inverse of a couple nights ago where you guys maybe liked the process and the way you played a little bit better and you don't get the result maybe you felt like you deserved?
Yes. Yeah. I really liked the way we played tonight. Like the things that we talked about after game 2, we were so much better at. Our most dangerous offensive game of the year by a mile. It's a frustrating team to play because they capitalize on every opportunity they get, and their goalie makes big saves, and their special teams are really good, right? We win the special teams battle tonight, but they score. That's what they do. When they get a chance, it's in the back of the net, and so we made a couple mistakes. They capitalize on them, and we kept pushing, and then their goalie comes up big in the third period for me.
Martin Necas, 3 points tonight. Did you feel he was just kind of playing on a different level?
That line was really good. Yeah, I think that was their best game, like really responsible game 1, but not too dangerous. Game 2, we all had a rough night, and then tonight they were super dangerous right from the get-go.
Kevin Brindley gets his first tonight, just
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Tenacious, relentless on pucks. Goes to the inside, scores it right at top of the paint. Big goal for us, and I think he continues to play well.
How is, you've had a lot of rookies over the last few years, and they always get 5-6 minutes. His just seemed to stick out more. How is he making the most of that in your eyes?
Highly competitive, he's on pucks. He's, I would like to use him more. That game gets real tight. They shorten their bench a little bit. We shorten ours. It's a big game. We want to keep this thing going. It's home against Dallas. But he's going to earn more ice time. There's no question. He played more. I think the most he played was game 1, and then game 2 was a little less. But it's just, it's hard work is what it is. But his details are good. He's really good in the structure of the game. He's a responsible defender. And then I think he's got offense that's untapped still, and help provide offense for us. So he's bringing a little bit of everything.
I was going to say, we know how much you love shootouts, but I'm curious about the thinking with Olsen out there first.
Yeah, he's got a good track record. I I don't want to be hard on our guys, but we don't have a lot of guys that have had a ton of shootout success. He has. So the numbers say he's the guy. So we're going to look at him, see if he's the guy. Because we have a lot of skill and talent and guys that can score, but that doesn't mean you're good in the shootout. You know what I mean? So you gotta go a little bit with the odds. You got to go a little bit to me, he's a shooter and he can really rip it. And so we'll experiment with our shootout guys. But he's a new guy that can score goals, and so put him in a situation to score goals.
Let's go Rachel, then Evan.
The schedule is what it is, but is it frustrating? Like, do you wish you were facing Dallas again sooner than March?
No, I don't care. I would love to never see him again.
One
practice and then in the lineup, I'm sure it was not ideal from your point of view with
Yeah.
Sylvia, but what did you think of the play?
Because of all the stuff going on in the game, I didn't get to watch him real close. I noticed him doing some good things, but I can't. I have to break down his game to look at it. Prater will do it. I just couldn't give you a great evaluation just based on a lot of the action that was going on at the forward end tonight.
Nate said that him and Marty are still trying to figure stuff out. And obviously they look great time, but just, do you see anything different that Nate's doing to try to help them figure that out, or does he play any differently with Marty than he did before?
I don't think so. I mean, I see where you're digging at.
No.
I mean, they were pretty good together last year down the stretch. Like they're both dynamic guys. I think that like over time they'll learn, and I think they are learning. Like they both kind of, when they first got here, they seemed like they're bumping into each other all over the ice because they want the same ice. They kind of want to go to the same spots. So it's awareness, recognition, and being flexible in where you want to go. I think Marty will learn that. I think Nate's learning that, showing up in different areas of the ice, getting dangerous, both on 5-on-5 and on the power play. So they have to be a little bit more flexible, and sometimes it takes time, so they're not heading to the same area of the ice when someone else has the puck. So and I think that's a natural progression. It's not going to happen overnight, but they're figuring it out.
Your last one.
The better way that I should have asked that was, like, if they do it, like, is that a 50-50 thing, or is that like a Marty has to 100 thing? Like, how do they?
Well, I think it's a 50-50 thing, but you're playing with one of the best players in the world, and if he's at a spot a split second ahead of you or a split second behind you, you probably should be moving someplace else.
Good.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
Let me wrap up the Marty conversation asking you and Chad a question here. And this is a legitimate question. I'm not trying to rig the system here. I think you can have a legitimate conversation about this. Who was the better player tonight? Marty Necas or Mikko Rantanen?
Marty.
Marty had a 3-point night. He put in great work for the Avs top line, who dominated all night. But Mikko Rantanen also had a beautiful assist on a nice play on there for Dallas's first goal. And then he had the most important play of the game, which was scoring in the shootout to close it.
I didn't factor in the shootout game winner, to be fair.
I get that. But at the end of the day,
yeah,
I would pick Marty too, for the record.
I think Marty was the more consistently impactful player. I think that if you had each other's respective type of performance over the course of 82 games, Marty's would lead to much more winning.
I fully agree, but I'm open to a conversation that.
I mean, but that's what Mikko can do, right?
Mikko
Like that's
clutched
why
up,
why he is such an incredible talent. Is he can be quiet and then go Steph
Make a
Curry
play
and
that
hit
matters.
6 threes on you in a minute and a half, and you're just like, what the hell just happened?
I just wanted to throw that one out there. I don't think it's really a situation where you're comparing Marty and Mikko all year. That's not reality, but
it's always going to be a factor in this matchup, though, a storyline, if nothing else.
Head to head, the Avs top line was better than Dallas's top guys in this game. Even beyond the shootout and whatever, the Avs top line was better. Dallas is just the team that got it over the finish line.
They got to get that deal done for Marty, man.
They do.
He's such a perfect fit.
Just give him 10.5.
Call it a day.
I can live with 10.5. They sign him to 11. That feels steep, but I'll I'll get over it.
You might have to overpay a little bit. I mean, you look at the market right now.
I don't know if you can go over 11.
Well, especially with whatever's looming for Kale, but
yeah, I mean, that's a blank check. It doesn't really matter. We do have a couple of super chats here as we're winding down the show. $4 from Woody, who says, "Hi there, Marty Necas, agent here. Keep the change." Yeah, his price isn't getting any cheaper the way he's playing. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to go his full Jerry Maguire, man. Show me the money. Subscribe to the DNVR newsletter, by the way. I wrote about that last week.
Go pop off. Newsletter's great for keeping up with all DNVR sports. $5 from Ryan. Typical Avs, good game loss. Good on 5-on-5. 0 for any number. Or I think you adjusted that. For any number on the power play. Goalie gives up no bad goals, but 4 goals on 20 shots. Fart noise. And then, yeah, you corrected it. 1 for any number still. You're going to have 5 to 10 losses like this every year where you play real good and you just lose anyway.
That's hockey.
Yep. There's a reason the best regular season teams in history still have double-digit losses in this sport.
It's a good point.
Stuff happens. Some of it's your own fault. Some of it's the universe's fault. Some of it is just the stars aligned.
I was thinking about that today, actually, funny enough, because there was playoff baseball on.
Yep.
Baseball might be the only sport that's even relatively in the conversation of which you can just completely outplay the team and then you give up one home run and just that's it.
Yep. Yeah, there is a world where the Avs execute a little bit better in the first period of this game, I think.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a little bit quicker, but you predicted that. You know?
I did. We've watched a lot of this team here. We know what they do sometimes. And they should be able to clean some of that up. And this was probably an A game that they still found a way to lose, but it was not the A+ game as we are in overtime here. As the conversation continues online on the DNVR, they didn't quite put a bow on it. They didn't quite play their cleanest game, and it cost them 1 point. I'm not going to go to the mat for 1 point on October 11th. All right. That I'm going to feel good about what they did good, and I'm going to move forward.
We're not going full Humpty Dumpty.
No,
the skies
I'm not
falling.
falling off a wall for this one. All right. I do not need to be put back together again for one Colorado Avalanche loss. I really do. I really do take mostly positives out of this game. And I think Buffalo, it's a matinee game, so weird stuff happens, but I think Buffalo might get their bell rung on Monday.
Yeah, not the best time for me in the middle of football season playing matinee games.
Yeah.
Come on. It's all right. It's what the record function's for.
There you go. You can always catch up later. That's all I got, J. Mike.
That's all I got. I mean, my biggest takeaway, like yours, is just that I think this is a really good hockey team, and that when they play to their best, more times than not, they're going to be quite the force.
Yep. Yeah.
Like you put the word out that we back up.
We back up. As AJ incorrectly typed in the chat, 19 of 20 points still available in the first 10 games of the season for the Colorado Avalanche.
I'll take that. I'll take that deal.
No one's going to be all that sad if the Avs are 9-0-1 at the end of the first 10. So
you underestimate Twitter.
We just don't talk about that. All right.
He who shall not be named.
The people on Twitter that can't find joy in hockey. I mean, I guess if that's how you want a fan, pop off, but I don't get it.
There's a lot of other ways you could spend your time.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. We appreciate all of y'all hanging out. I know losses can be tough sometimes, but 250 of you in here, even after a loss like that, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe. If you enjoy what we do, go check out thednvr.com. Maybe consider becoming a diehard member. AJ is going to have pieces up after the game so you can read about it and see his thoughts. Go do that. That's it. We are the DNVR Avalanche podcast. We're presented by Bet365. We are off tomorrow, but the matinee Monday. We'll see you there.
We all silly like the mayor.